My name is Jenny Gannon, and I've been a primary school teacher now for over 20 years. I've always believed in the need for development education, intercultural education, and global citizenship education in our classrooms. Development education for me works best when exploring a topic that has a direct impact on the children's lives, that they can see in their own lives every day as they're living it. Last year was the perfect opportunity to look at the American election, how elections work in different countries, and the impact that those elections have on all of the citizens of those countries. We looked initially in class, we discussed the overall setup in the States. So how the Republicans and Democrats operate, the fact that there are in the main two parties and the impact that that has. We looked at the presidential term of office being 2 terms effectively, 4 years each. We talked about the impact that that had on the country over there, and also the impact that it has on the world depending on the result and the outcome. In the run-up to the election, we looked at both the presidential and the vice president candidates. We looked at and filled in fun fact files on them so that they could learn a little bit more about all of the candidates. We also coloured in some of the pages that were available from their respective websites on themselves and the messages that they were delivering to us about their own candidacy. We then, on the week of the election, looked at the map of America. We discussed how some states are usually red, others are usually blue, and the phenomenon of the swing state, those that change colours depending on the particular candidate, and how these were the states that the candidates worked hardest in to get the votes in because of the impact that it had on the electoral colleges. Ultimately, a candidate has to get to the magic number of 270, and we discussed how all of the states are weighted differently. On the day of election then, and once the results came in, each child had a blank map of America and they looked at the states and they coloured them in as the results came in. So if they came in on one side, they were red, and if they came in on the other, they were blue. The board in our classroom had the running election results all day long, and in fact, the next day as well. It really helped the children to, conceptualise what was going on and to understand what was going on with concrete examples. They even tried to predict the combinations that were going to come up that would give the 270. What were all the possibilities as that happened and as results came in? So maths in a real way happened too. They talked about which states flipped and what might have impacted that flip and how the swing states fared as we went through the process. The artwork after the final result was done to celebrate Biden and Harris. The children chose the most appropriate materials to use and created their own celebration picture. After the result, we looked at the Irish system for electing a president, compared it to the American system, and discussed the powers that both presidents have in their country. We then came back to the inauguration in January. We watched and listened to the speeches and identified all of the people who were in attendance. We noted the fact that Biden himself admitted that almost 50% of the population didn't want him as their president, and that he had an awful lot of work to do in order to unite the country. The children were very quick to give suggestions about what he could do, and in fact, they spoke very clearly about what they would do if they were him in this situation. A world event like the American election provides the perfect opportunity to engage in learning activities across the entire curriculum.